Hey guys, it's Leo, and usually in this channel I talk about magical girls, most specifically Precure. But why not do something different and talk about a heroine for a change? I mean, magical girls usually are heroines, but not all heroines are magical girls. So yesterday I went and watched Captain Mar-Vell, the movie, and I was pretty excited. As you can see, I even bought a t-shirt. I usually like those big heroines, and I'm happy heroines are getting the spotlight in the cinemas now, and it's like their times, their era, and I am loving it. So after Wonder Woman, I was pretty excited to see Captain Marvel's saga in the cinema. Even though I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, I do like Marvel. I always followed the X-Men. I really loved the 90s X-Men cartoon, and I even remember Miss Marvel from the 90s cartoon, like when Rogue took her powers away. Like that was my first contact with Carol Danvers, because well, at that time she was not Captain Marvel, but you guys know what I mean, right? Apart from the X-Men cartoons, I sometimes follow the X-Men comics, but the cinematic universe from Marvel is something that I kind of follow as well. I haven't watched all of the movies. I love some of them. I don't really enjoy some of them. So it's not always that I get very excited about a Marvel movie, but I was pretty excited for Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel is a character that was actually born as Miss Marvel in the comics, but she later turned on to becoming Captain Marvel. I think it was in 2012. And the title of Miss Marvel was left with another superhero, who is Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan is actually my favorite Marvel character. I even collect her comics. They're released here in Brazil and I get them when I can. I mean, I'm late. I'm like 2-3 volumes late, unfortunately. Oh my god. But Kamala Khan is my favorite Marvel character. So she is the one that I regularly follow. She's the one that I read about. She's the one that I stan. She's the one that I love. But I do like Carol a lot. I do enjoy Carol Danvers' character. She's very controversial in a point. But it's interesting what Marvel chose to do with her. So I'm going to talk about the movie, but before talking about the movie itself, I just want to say that I am going to talk about spoilers, but in the end of the video. So if you haven't watched the movie, you can freely watch what I thought of it. And when I am going to talk about spoilers, I will warn you, so you can take a step away or not if you want to listen to spoilers, but I will be sure to warn you all. So Captain Marvel, the movie, was having like a big press since the last Avengers, which was like a very big movie, very powerful and very impactful movie. And the ending scene, the post-credits scene, was also very shocking, and it left us wanting Captain Marvel. It left us hoping for the Captain Marvel movie to come soon. And when, with all the publicity that's been going around, I was expecting a different type of Captain Marvel movie. I was very confused in the movie when I was watching it, in the cinema when I was watching the movie. But in the end, I think that the whole experience was amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, or Verse, as how she's called in the movie, is a very interesting character. And the way she was developed was brilliant. And I think Brie Larson, the character, the actress who plays Carol, is stupendous. She is amazing. And there is something about Brie Larson that made Carol Danvers look and work so well, which is her expressions. Carol in the movie is a character that doesn't speak a lot, but she can convey so many different emotions with just one look. And Brie Larson played that perfectly. So I was engaged with her character since the start. And the narrative can be a little confusing, the story can be a little convoluted, but in the end, I think that they were able to explain everything very well concerning Carol's story, and I was able to understand her character, I was able to care for her character, and I was able to root for her character a lot. And I think the way they created her background, the way they constructed her character was gorgeous. But there is one problem, and the problem is that I think that the movie, the marketing strategy of the movie has been a little confusing. Lately, Marvel has been putting out some pretty strong movies with very dark and mysterious and dramatic plots. And like Black Panther, Infinity War, they're very dramatic, they're very strong, they have this very melodramatic narrative in them. And I think that the way they've been publicizing Captain Marvel was the same. And I was expecting Captain Marvel to feel the same way. And I was so wrong on that. Captain Marvel is actually very lighthearted. And it's a movie that you go to have fun to watch. You have fun while you watch the movie. It's not something that you stay and you bite your nails while you're watching it. You just have fun. It's a very fun, lighthearted, simple movie, narrative-wise. And that is definitely not a problem at all because it's done so well. But I was expecting something different. As I said, I think the marketing strategy was showing something different from this movie, and so I was expecting something different from it. I was expecting something more dramatic. I was expecting something with a bigger risk, just like the past Marvel movies. But actually, what I got was something more or less like Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor. I think that Captain Marvel fits those movies more than the ones of Infinity War or Black Panther. That's not a problem, but the way that I felt that the movie was being published was a little different from the end game for me. And another thing is that Captain Marvel, the hero herself, has been published as a very important hero in the cinematic universe for Marvel. And so I was expecting to see like a bigger role for her in the movie, in her first story. That's not what we got. But instead, we got a movie that focused more on Carol's character and the discovery of her own story, discovery of her own self. That part was done brilliantly. And actually, as I said, I don't see the movie being lighthearted and happy and easy to watch a problem. Not at all. That was just not what I was expecting when I watched it. And there was another thing, and this is one of the problems I have with the movie. The movie, as I said, is very lighthearted, it's very happy, but the photography of the movie doesn't show that at all. If you get a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's very colorful, it's very bright, the colors are strong. In Captain Marvel, most of the scenes were very dark, they were colorless, and when she was in daylight, for example, there weren't many colors. And I do understand the scenario, the military scenario that the movie is part of, but the colors could have been more bright to reflect better what the movie represents. And I think that was like the biggest problem I had with the movie. It doesn't translate very well into the light-hearted narrative doesn't translate very well into the images itself. Like, for example, there is one scene in which Captain Marvel is changing her uniform, and there's one part of there is one of the uniforms that she tries on, and that uniform is very colorful. That was something, and that's played for laughs. Yes, there are lots of jokes, and the jokes work very well in the movie, but that colorful attire that she wore, for me, could have worked very well. Not the attire itself, but the color palette could have worked in backgrounds a little bit more. They could have played a little bit more with colors in this movie, and I think it would have looked way better. And some of the scenes in the movie, especially at the start, are very dark. I don't know if it was a problem of the cinema that I was in, but it was really dark and I couldn't really see it. So I don't know if that's a problem of the movie or if that's a problem of the cinema I was in. I live in a fairly small city and the cinema here is not that good. Oh my god, it's raining. Sorry if the audio doesn't end up being very good. And since we're talking about technical parts, there is another part that I think this movie did perfectly, which is the soundtrack. The movie is set in the 90s, and me, well, I love the 90s. I am a 90s kid, and I was born in the late 80s, so like my child years and the early years of my adolescence were in the 90s. So yes, I have a very big emotional connection with the 90s. Yes, I do. And the soundtrack played it perfectly for me. We had songs like What a Man, and this song was even a lip sync song in RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6, Trinity K. Bonet. Oh my god, if you watched RuPaul's Drag Race, you know what I mean. Trinity K. Bonet, she's laid lip syncs. I love her so much. And I love her lip sync abilities. She's amazing. And that song played in the movie and I was like, oh. Another song that played and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it, was Waterfalls from TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls. I love TLC, and you know, TLC wasn't as big as here in Brazil as it was in the US in the 90s, but I remember they played No Scrubs a lot in MTV here and I went crazy over it. I loved it. Another song that played and it played in a very nice scene, was a Garbage song called Only Happy When It Rains. And that song is a song that I feel very connected to. I didn't even remember that song anymore, but when it played, I was like, oh my god, because I love the lyrics and I feel very connected to the lyrics of that song. I feel like, oh my god, those lyrics are so me. You know when you listen to a song and you just connect to it? That's me with that song. And there was even a Nirvana song, Come As You Are, and Just a Girl from No Doubt. I mean, the soundtrack was on point. Like, great 90s songs that they chose. They could have chosen other songs, but I think that they did like a perfect roundup of 90 songs to put in. So the soundtrack, brilliant. And I have been very pleasantly impacted by soundtracks lately. I don't know if you guys watched The Umbrella Academy in Netflix, but it also had great soundtrack. But for me, Captain Mar-Vell takes it because, I mean, I am way more connected to those songs and I love them all. So for me, it was an easy game. So overall, a great movie. I think Brie Larson did a great job. And one other thing I want to comment before going to spoilers is the fact that Brie Larson has very good chemistry with the actor that plays Nick Fury. I don't know his name. Oh my god, that duo was brilliant. I loved both of them together. They worked so well together. And she also had great chemistry with the actress that played Maria Rambeau and her daughter. I don't remember her daughter's name. Monica? I'm not sure. But really good. Really, really good. So yes, overall the acting in the movie was really nice. I mean, Brie Larson, for me, she is really good. She's a very good actress. She can bring it, you know, and you know, I loved the way she played Carol. Carol is you know, she has a lot of personality and she's not afraid of confronting people. Oh my god, I just loved that. And you know, there was one scene in the movie that one of the scrolls screamed her, ah, and then she just screamed back at him, ah, and I was like, oh my god, I just love her already. And that was a very early scene. And you know, throughout the movie, she completely got me. She got my heart, she got me, and I love it. But now I want to jump to spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, sorry, please stop right here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. But if you want to, talk about things that happened in the movie, stay right here with me. Anyways, let's start the spoilers section right now. Another problem I had with the movie was the fact that since the start of the movie, Carol, Captain Mar-Vell, she already had powers and she already knew how to use them, even though she was not as confident as she should have been with her powers. She was very strong since the start of the movie. And when the movie went on, I lost sense of danger. There was absolutely no sense of danger at all. I mean, the villains, they were not as strong as they could have been, or they were strong, but Carol was way stronger than anything. So there was no sense of threat at all in the movie. Another thing that I found a little bit confusing was the fact that she was taken to the Kree planet and they put something in her head. I didn't understand why exactly. I don't know if it was to track her or to tie her powers down. I didn't really understand that. And they could have explained that a little better. I don't know. Another thing that was a little confusing was that cat. I don't remember its name. Okay, cute character, fun character, lots of surprises there, but he was very dangerous, or she was very dangerous, I don't know. It was a very dangerous animal or species, and we don't really know where it came from or how it got into Earth. I didn't really understand. Was it with Mar-Vell? Or, I don't know. I think it was with Mar-Vell, but why? How did she get him? And how did... I don't know. I just felt really confused by that. And I was pleasantly surprised with the story of the Skrulls in this movie because I've always had that impression. And here is something that is really an impression because I haven't really read comics with Skrulls in it, like a big story of Skrulls in it. But I was pleasantly surprised with the plot twist of the Skrulls actually being like the victims of this whole thing. But I think that everything felt very like good versus bad in this movie. So, I mean, there should have been more gray areas around that somewhere, you know, when it comes to the Skrulls themselves and the Kree people. I mean, the Kree people ended up being really bad and the Skrull people ended up being really good. So, I don't know. I feel like there should have been more gray areas there. Well, the leader of the Skrulls even said, like, this is a war and I have done my share as well. But it didn't really feel impactful. You end up feeling... you end up rooting for the Skrulls like most of the time after you know the truth. And I felt like it should have had a little bit more gray areas there. So my biggest problem with the movie is the fact that Carol is way too strong for any threat at all. That's an interesting point when it comes to the Avengers, Infinity War, not Infinity War, but the next Avengers Endgame movie. Why did they put Endgame name in the movie like a Taylor Swift song? Big reputation. Big reputation. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop right here. I just want to say that I love Captain Mar-Vell. I want to see it again. I want to watch it again. I'm very happy with this movie. I'm very happy with Brie Larson inside the Avengers world. I think that she's going to be amazing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's going to be a great addition to the Avengers team. I hope that she's able to lead them for the future because those guys, they really need a leader. I can't stand Tony Stark. So I would love to see Carol Danvers fighting and wreaking havoc. And Mar-Vell, Kamala Khan, please. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. Like this video if you liked it. Let's keep our talk in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.